Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the GameCast NewsCast. I am Snowy, otherwise known as Count Fracula. Joining me this week is Max.
Hello, everybody.
We got him on 2 videos in a week. Like,
3,
what a privilege.
actually.
3? Yes.
I recorded
yes,
a pocket
you're on
edition.
Good lord.
Right?
You're waiting for a Max video that never come along, and then 3 come along at once.
I like to deliver in spades, you know? Can I say?
You do indeed. But I already know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Max, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I have been playing a lot of Kingdom Hearts 3 because I'm a giant fan of that franchise, as are most people. The only people still playing it now are the giant fans of the franchise.
Well, yes.
But and I've been loving it. I think it's been living up to the hype for the most part. There are some weird things that they sort of cut that I'm not a big fan of. Like, I'm pretty sure there's no Final Fantasy characters in the game at all. And it seems like each of the worlds are more of a streamlined experience. Like in the previous games, you would like beat a world and like you could go back to it later on for like more story, or like you could kind of just go off to where you want and explore a little bit, whereas in like different worlds too, whereas in this one it seems like you doing a world and it's like a big level, and then you just kind of have to move on to the next one and the next one. It's a lot more like a linear game, it seems, this time around, which isn't terrible because the worlds are like 3 times larger, whereas before you could beat one in like a half hour, and these take like 3 to 4 hours per. So it's a trade-off, you know. It's a trade. There's a lot less of them in comparison, though, to be fair. There's only 10 worlds.
Yeah.
Whereas like in Kingdom Hearts 2,
you seem
I'm
to be
pretty sure there was
enjoying
like
it more
20.
than Sarah is. Like, Sarah's
Really?
enjoying it to a point.
Okay.
But I think you seem to be having more fun with it.
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying the hell out of it. What doesn't she like about it, do you know?
I can't remember. Listen to the newscast from last week and you can find out.
Fair. I know Mark likes it a lot.
Yes.
Because I was
His
talking with
review
him
will
about
be
it.
coming in the next week or 2, hopefully.
Yeah, he killed that game. Like, he beat that game so fast.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Quite a bit.
Can't understand how he managed that, but whatever.
You know, props, dude. Props.
Yes.
He avoided spoilers, so...
He
and
did.
then,
So, Kingdom Hearts, and then the other thing.
Yes, Apex Legends, which has somehow pulled me away from Kingdom Hearts. Obviously, completely out of the blue, as it was for everyone. Downloaded on Monday. You know, actually, I watched the game appear on the store. I saw the stream was up, but I didn't want to watch it. And so I went on the Xbox store, I typed in Apex Legends, and it was like, there's nothing to show here. And I just kind of left it there, like, because I just went on my computer. And then I turned around like 5 minutes later, and it was just there all of a sudden. I was like, whoa, that was awesome. And it was like a whole list. It was like the microtransactions and videos and everything. It was kind of funny. But and then the game. So I downloaded it, and I jumped on it like right away. I streamed it for a couple of hours. It was really fun. I'm a huge fan of that game. I didn't expect to like it so much because I don't really like battle royales at all. I fucking hate Fortnite. PUBG's okay. I played a couple of the other ones. I never tried Blackout, though. I feel like I would have actually liked Call of Duty's Blackout, because apparently this is pretty similar to that, which makes sense because it's made by former Call of Duty devs. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of Blackout. I think it's Apex Legends. I think it streamlines a lot of the experience. I think it puts past a lot of the bullshit that a lot of battle royales do. Like, it doesn't take forever to land. You can revive teammates, which is really cool. You get to an area and it tells you what level loot is there. You move fast throughout the map. There's like abilities to make it interesting. Like, I think that's really, really cool. Like, it treats you like a person with intelligence. Unlike, I feel like Fortnite and the other ones do. I feel like the other ones just sort of, they take forever to get going. They're not very player friendly. Like, I feel like Fortnite shooting mechanics still aren't great, despite the fact that they've like revamped them. But these are like, this is made by Respawn, like the tightest shooting mechanics in the game, you know. So that's really cool. I'm just a big fan of it overall. And that's really it, though, is those 2 titles.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with pretty much most of that statement. I think overall it's a very well designed game. I think it's pretty damn good. Tight shooting mechanics, obviously, really lovely gunplay, nice abilities. It's all a very smooth game from what I've only managed to be able to play a couple of hours of it so far because I am an unfortunately busy person. But yeah, no, it's a really, really fun little game. So yeah,
it has no right to be as good as it is.
That. No, it really doesn't, does it? It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another game I've been playing is Cosmic Express.
Interesting.
It's a puzzle game.
Puzzle games are the best games.
They are. You play as a train, and you have to get aliens to their homes. Only certain aliens can go only to certain places. And you are in like a very confined little bubble space, and you have to get this track around. The track can't overlap itself, can't turn back on itself. The train can only go in one direction. You can only hold so many aliens in your train at a certain amount of time, depending on what level you're on. And it's all very complex, and I've already had to consult a wiki twice to get it correct.
That is the perfect title for a game like that. Cosmic Express.
Yes, because you're on a space train, like in a little bubble in space, and all of the level types, like there's loads of different level sets, and all the sets are named after star systems, which is quite nice.
Oh, that is cool.
There's one called Alpha Centauri, there's one called Vega, and loads of other ones. It's quite a nice little thing. It's a lovely little puzzle game, and it's very cheap.
Do you think it scales properly? Like, it doesn't get too hard too quickly?
I don't think so. No, I think it's like there's the odd level that's very difficult, but you're never stuck on one level. You can go the way it's all laid out. You can actually just go to a different level and try and beat that instead, and come back to it later on.
Nice.
So it's not completely linear. If you get stuck on one level, you can go to another bit and just explore in that way instead. Yeah, it is. Well, it's $6.99 on Steam, but until the end of the Lunar Sale, which is the thing that's on at the moment, which ends at the 11th of February, it is £2.30.
Nice.
Yes, it's very good. Apparently, it came out 2 years ago, and I never noticed. So.
Sometimes it'd be like that. Them indie games, man. Them tiny indie games.
Especially on Steam, where everything gets buried.
Yeah. Yeah. You have thousands of games.
Exactly. Literally. I mean, I have 793 games on my Steam account.
Oh, I meant Steam has thousands of games, but yes.
Oh, Steam has like something like 30,000 games now, some stupid amount.
It was something like that. I don't remember, but it was obscene, is what it is.
That is definitely true. Oh dear. The new free game on the Epic Games Store has come out today, by the way.
What is it?
I will tell you in 1 second when it's loaded up, because I've just remembered and I want to add it to my account. The last one was Jackbox Party Pack, which I think most people must own in some way, shape or form at this point. It's even on Switch, that thing.
Yeah.
But definitely not stalling for time here.
I know the first one was Super Meat Boy, which like everyone has, but it was still cool.
Yeah, and then but then the second one was Subnautica, which I really appreciated because I didn't have it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Subnautica's so cool.
It is. It's great. The second one is going to be Axiom Verge. It's not out just yet. It's probably synced to some sort of American time. But yes, probably Axiom Verge, which is
I've always heard of that.
It's sci-fi Metroidvania indie game. Came out a few years ago. It was it's a very good game. It's definitely worth getting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's free. Well, that will be free by the time this goes out on the Epic Games Store.
Wow, I'm gonna download this too. This looks awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty great.
But wait, I don't want to use another storefront. It's anti-consumer.
It's not anti-consumer. Yeah, look. Right. The Metro Exodus thing is shit. I don't like that they've done that. I don't think that was a great idea. Them having exclusive games in and of itself, though, is not anti-consumer. But it is also not a very feature-complete client. compared to things like Steam. It is not perfect. It is not infallible. So it shouldn't have people jumping to its defense out of for any particular reason, because it has its flaws.
I just think that situation should have been handled better.
Oh, God, yes.
Is all. I think that it's fine that it happened. I think Steam needs to...
I disagree.
Keep in check.
If it hadn't been so close and had already been able to be ordered on Steam, then I would have been fine with it.
Oh, that's what I mean by handled better. It shouldn't have happened
that shouldn't have been a situation that happened.
Like, if this happened a year ago, I'm sure people would have complained, but I would have been like, okay, like... whatever.
Yeah, so if we'd have had plenty of prior warning and going, this will be exclusive to the Epic Games Store, it's like, okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, as it stands, not great. Another problem with the Epic Games Store, for instance, is it doesn't have user reviews.
That's like good and bad. Apparently, developers can opt in, and initially I thought that was stupid, but then they review bombed the previous Metro games, and I was like, that's stupid.
Yeah, it prevents review bombing, but at the same time, I don't like not knowing what people think of a game.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
But 99% of the time, it's a very good indicator of quality, and that was one of the things that put Steam above a lot of other storefronts, is that they have user reviews, whereas a lot of places don't. None of the consoles have user reviews.
Oh, they do. Xbox does, at least. They're not like reliable, but it does.
No, PlayStation doesn't. Switch doesn't.
Yeah, they're usually really dumb complaints. But
still, yeah. Anyway, that's that, and also I'll just quickly mention a game that I've played a little bit of, Megaquarium.
Right. Ooh.
Yes, I actually managed to get a hold of that. I didn't get a free copy like I would have... well, a review copy like I would have liked. Let's phrase that better. But, you know, these things happen. It's fine. I bought it on the Christmas sale. I've played a bit of it. You're making your own aquarium. It's cool. My one slight issue... well, it's not an issue as such. I just don't really like the background. Because you got your aquarium, but then the background to it, like to the rest of the game, is just this sort of weird blue void.
Is it terrifying?
It's not terrifying.
A blue void.
It's just one of those situations where I think, like, I get that they're not going for the whole land management aspect of a builder. They're just going for the expand forever and make your aquarium as big and amazing as you can.
Okay.
But I would have liked something more interesting as a background, maybe, than a blue void.
That's fair. That's
a very yeah, it's a very nitpicky criticism. I think overall the game is pretty solid. I'm enjoying what little I've had time to play. So yeah.
To be fair, if you have to stare at it that entire time, that's kind of... yeah. That's more than a little nitpick. It's also got a first-person camera that you can walk around your aquarium, which I quite like. Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, although the aquarium doesn't have a ceiling when you're in the first-person camera.
Would you rather have no void or a ceiling?
I mean, I'd rather have both. I'm not gonna...
well, buddy...
I'd rather have no void and a ceiling. That would be better. Oh, dear. Yeah, it's a fun little game. I would recommend playing it. It is quite expensive. It's nearly £20, which for an indie game is not cheap.
Mm-mm.
But you know, overall, it's quite a fun little simulation game if that's your genre.
Right.
Anyway, that's what we've both been playing this week, and let's move on to what is admittedly going to be a weirdly EA-heavy episode. Although we're actually mostly done talking about Apex Legends because it's been talked to death about already on this channel. There's two news videos, the latest two news videos mention it, and there's going to be a pocket edition about first impressions of it. Not a pocket edition, an impressions thing about it. So I wanted to keep talk of that to a minimum. But anyway, let's crack on with the first story. While we're not actually going to be talking about Apex Legends very much, we are going to be talking, we're not straying very far from the topic because we're going to be talking about Respawn, because Well, Titanfall 3 is confirmed to not be in development at the moment. Respawn producer Drew McCoy has, he's told Eurogamer... Well, no, I'm confusing myself. He was the one that told people that it wasn't in development. But Respawn CEO Vince Zampella has, on Twitter last night, said that more Titanfall things are coming out later this year. And I will quote, "We are working on more Titanfall for later this year. Yes, I said the T word. We love being able to experiment in this crazy universe."
Wow. Yeah, and it's going to be a premium game. Like, it's going to be a buy-to-play game. Apparently,
yes.
Premium is what we're using to describe that now.
Yeah.
Instead of game, but...
Yeah, instead of just a game or, anything more sensible.
I think that's interesting, though, because I think it's been rumored that Titanfall 3 hasn't necessarily been axed, but what it has been is, like, split into these things now. Like, you know how a lot of games launch with a Battle Royale now? Like Call of Duty's did, for example. So I think instead they just decided, hey, let's release this Battle Royale, and then whatever this other part is, we're going to have later.
Yeah.
Which would make a lot of sense, because I can't imagine they decided let's make 2 separate Titanfall games. No. I have to feel like this was sort of like a last-minute, maybe not last-minute decision, but a decision made later in development.
Possibly. What it could also be is that this will be like Titanfall 2.5, and then Titanfall 3 will come like in 2021 or something.
Yeah, at
a
like, reasonable time.
Yeah, a bit like Assassin's Creed. There was 2 games between Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh yeah, those like weird spin-offs.
Yeah, exactly. Brotherhood and Revelations.
Yeah, actually, Brotherhood was fine, but I think Revelations was kind of useless.
That seems to be the general consensus. Also, Assassin's Creed 3's remasters had screenshots released, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I think it has a release date, too.
Great. I don't really care about Assassin's Creed 3 because it's one of the most boring ones.
Yeah, I don't care that much either.
No. Anyway, back to Titanfall. So we don't know what it is, this new Titanfall game. We don't have a lot of details about it, other than the fact that it won't be free to play, and it isn't going to be a VR game.
And it's a new twist.
Yes, it is. It is apparently a new twist on the formula because Andrew Wilson, the Lizard Man, has in EA's quarterly earnings report, he says a lot of things in the quarterly earnings report because that's how they work, and he goes, "As the live service evolves, Respawn also plans to launch a premium game this year that's a new twist on the Titanfall universe. More to come on that in the months ahead. Give me your skin, humans."
Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much how he is all the time.
Yeah. So, So it's going to... It's not
a
going
top-down
to be
shooter.
It'll be a tower defense game. I wouldn't mind a top-down shooter, maybe. I might, but I might not.
I wouldn't be really more interested.
I'd be slightly more interested in maybe an RTS, like Halo
that would
Wars
be cool.
kind of style.
That would be awesome. That would work with Titans too. That would work so well.
Yeah.
And they have like all the monsters and everything.
There's different types of Titans. There's a lot of different types that you can get out of that. So that would be quite interesting.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I'm kind of disappointed that it won't be a VR game though, because I'd kind of like the idea of putting my Vive on and being in a Titan.
Yeah, it almost seems natural.
That sounds pretty fucking badass.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, that's not happening. Oh well. Other people have suggested it might be a mech combat game, like a one-on-one mech combat game, like a multiplayer co-op, or like maybe it could be something like For Honor, but less shit.
Ha! Hey, that's free on a PS Plus this month, by the way.
It is. Yay! Especially when it was given out for free on PC last year as well.
And it's been on Games with Gold, so I'm going to have 3 different versions of it, and I've never touched it.
No, neither have I. Oh,
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Honor because the guy. Do you remember the guy at the E3 presentations who was promoting it? He was like the most badass metal guy in the world.
I genuinely do not, actually.
He was really cool. He had like a cane and a cape and everything. He was like really sort of into it, and it kind of made me excited for the game. And then it came out, and I was just like, "Oh, that's a shame."
Sad. I did not remember that.
Oh, but yeah. So I mean, there's a million and one ways that this game could go. I think, it's probably a good thing.
I'm excited. Yeah. Respawn deserves, if any studio deserves more shine, it's Respawn. And I know that EA pretty much didn't touch Apex Legends, so hopefully that is the same case here with the other game.
Gameplay wise, they didn't touch it. They obviously got their grubby little hands in microtransaction wise, but let's not go into that.
But to be fair, the game needs money. It needs to make money.
The game needs money. I just don't think it needs money in quite the way that they're doing it, but that's my opinion. Obviously, I don't mind it having microtransactions. I just prefer it to have less expensive microtransactions.
Yeah.
Because the ones they have at the moment feel a bit... No, neither do I, but the ones they have at the moment feel a bit like they're taking the piss, personally.
Yeah. But
still. But yeah, I think this is going to be... I do also have a very ominous feeling that this premium Titanfall game will be a make or break title for Respawn, just because of the way EA does these things.
Yeah. I'm surprised that 2 wasn't the make or break, to be honest. Even though it did critically well. Well,
I think the thing, I think it did so well critically that EA would lose too much face shutting it down.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Dead Space 3, where EA got their hands all over it. The game came out like shit, and then EA goes, "Oh well, it was obviously the developers' studio's fault, so we're shutting them down."
Right.
Like they've done in so many instances. This was an instance of this game's been received so well critically that to shut them down now would make it a little bit like.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll get on to EA's PR and whatever in a minute on the second topic, because oh boy, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Respawn wise, I do feel like this is going to be a make or break game for them, whether or not this will carry them forward, or whether or not this will make them break away from EA at some point, like Bungie have with Activision.
Woo! Forgot about that.
Thank God. Yeah, he's just like, oh yeah, they did do that. That's great.
Wow. What a great way to start my morning is remembering that.
Yeah. But yeah, I've just thought of another really... I don't know if it'd be a good idea, but it'd be an interesting idea. Have it be a one-on-one combat game, but have it like Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Whoa. That'd be awesome.
Really fucking clunky, deliberately clunky, like kind of combat.
Super hard, but super realistic.
Yeah. I both love and hate that idea.
Yeah. It may come because they love experimenting in the crazy universe.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've heard of Kingdom Come, people either really love or really hate it.
Yeah, I feel like the people who hate it don't understand what they're getting into, because I feel like it was made pretty apparent that shit's clunky as hell.
Maybe, but I think I think people are well within their rights to not like it though.
Oh, they are. But yeah, I think
I would probably find it too clunky, and it would annoy me too much. But I like some aspects of it. Yeah. Some aspects of it, like the whole charisma check thing when it comes to having shit all over you or not. Like, if you're covered in dirt, then people won't... some people just won't talk to you. Like, there's elements like that I really love, but there's elements that are in it that I just hate and really put me off wanting to buy the game.
Right.
So, yeah. But anyway, Titanfall experience. Let's wrap this up. A new Titanfall experience will be coming this year. It is not Titanfall 3. We do not know if we will see Titanfall 3 in the future. It has not been confirmed as cancelled, but it has also been confirmed as not being in development. That's a really tricky thing to say.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Anyway, expect that at some point this year. We don't know when, but we might get more details, maybe in March. So, from one EA property to another, and I'm going to use this as well as a little a jumping off point to just talk about EA as a whole, as a company, and how they're going at the moment. But Battlefield 5 has apparently not met EA's sales expectations.
But it still sold like 7.3 million copies.
Yes, it sold very well. But, much like Star Wars Battlefront 2, it sold, unfortunately, 1 million fewer copies than EA had anticipated.
In quarter 3 of their fiscal year.
Yes. But they've also said that quarter 4 may not be much better.
They did. They said quarter 4 might not be better, like, overall, but apparently once they did the season pass content, like season 2 in January, now Battlefield 5 is, like, huge. Now apparently
I've heard, yeah, I think I remember you saying something about that yesterday, yeah. Yeah, because this isn't great. However, in a surprisingly accurate and well thought out move, EA have decided to not blame the developer for this.
Yeah.
This in the marketing report thing. I said it like 2 minutes ago and I can't remember what it fucking was
The
now.
quarter 3 report?
Something like that, yeah. Andrew Wilson said, as a result of decisions such as its delay, which led to it being launched in and around the Christmas period, it was often discounted at retailers, and that was to ensure that it could compete with other games. But it seems like the delay and the particular release window have not helped them. And they've said that as a result of these decisions, we struggled to gain momentum and did not meet expectations for the quarter. We made some calculated decisions that did not work as planned in quarter 3. And we did not execute well in other areas of our business against the backdrop of a very competitive quarter. The combination of those factors led to our underperformance. So, yes.
They're also blaming the fact that they focused on a single player instead of a Battle Royale.
No, that's not the reason. Shut up.
it may have been part of it. They're launching one in March.
No, it wasn't. So. There's loads of Battle Royale games. If people want to play a Battle Royale game... Yeah, but if people want to play a Battle Royale game, they've probably already got one that they're playing and they don't want to play another one.
I don't know, dude. Apex Legends kind of changes that. I used to think that too. Especially when set in a Battlefield universe, and they're launching one anyways in March.
Great.
Like a Battlefield, I will say, a Battlefield Battle Royale would be distinct enough to make me want to try it out, at least.
Would it not be too similar to Call of Duty?
I don't think so, because what I like about Battlefield over Call of Duty is so twitchy and fast-paced, like, to the point where you're dying like every 2 seconds. Whereas Battlefield is slower paced, it has a focus on vehicles and that sort of combat. So I think it'd be interesting to have like tanks and helicopters, as long as like being able to like lay prone and like sort of be deliberate and slow in squads. I think it'd be interesting actually. Okay. And vehicles could be in there because Fortnite has vehicles, so I'm sure that Battlefield would too. And like the destructible environments, that'd be really cool.
Yeah,
throwing it in there. I don't think I would play it very long, but I think it'd be interesting to try out. And, we'll find out in March anyways if people like it or not.
Yes, we definitely will. So, I'm using this, though, as a jumping off point for EA's health in general as a company. Because, oh boy, they're not doing that well at the moment. Their overall financial statement for the quarter has led in part to its largest decline for nearly 25 years.
Whew.
The last time it had 20 years. The last time it had a decline anywhere near as big was in 1999, where the stock dropped 25%. But in this one day on Tuesday, its stock managed to drop 18%. That was Tuesday the 5th of February this year, which is amazingly large. That's not great, not gonna lie.
No, it's not.
No.
I'm not surprised, though.
No, exactly. But then you've also got to remember there's other factors to this, such as them having to remove loot boxes in Belgium from FIFA. Those are all gone now. There's a lot of concerns about Anthem, mostly from like the critical and public perception, which is then making the investors a bit twitchy.
Right.
And you've also got things like, for instance, there's a fucking flowchart of ways to play Anthem, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, that shit ain't it. That shit pissed me off.
Yeah, it's not great. EA overall aren't having a great time. There's also an instance a month ago where their customer support refused to give a refund despite the requirements for a refund being met.
Really?
Apparently so. It's not ideal, is it? But yeah, I think EA, since sort of the end of last year, sort of November time, EA have not been doing amazingly when it comes to both PR. Well, they've never been doing very well with PR because that's just, that's just how they seem to manage it. But their stocks, and particularly things like public trust, have just gone through the floor recently.
Yeah, not to mention they cancelled all those Star Wars games.
Yes, they've cancelled about 5
Recently.
different Star Wars games in the last year.
They still have one coming this fall, though.
Do they? I didn't know that. Apparently, this came out not too long ago, that Disney are apparently happy with the way that EA are handling the Star Wars license. They said that a few days ago.
What?
I know.
There's no way.
Apparently there is.
Well, Disney's pretty money grubbing too, to be fair. So
yeah, well they're doing the same as EA are doing. Like they're just buying up a load of smaller companies and dealing with them. Except they're not shutting them all down. So there's that at least.
And they're at least doing it better. Like in terms of PR. They might be doing the same thing, but they're showcasing it better and presenting it better. Even though if you look past the lines, they're doing the same thing.
Yeah, but, quite a lot of people, though, are saying that with the launch of Apex Legends, we are coming back to it briefly, that this might be a turning point for the company.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a turning point for Respawn.
Well, yeah. Whether or not it'll be a turn for the wider EA brand, I don't know. It depends how much they decide to fiddle with it, I suppose.
Yeah.
But, I think Apex Legends has the potential to bring in a lot of good PR, depending on how well it's handled. But it also has the potential to do exactly the opposite.
Right.
And
we will see.
We will see.
I will say.
And then we've got to remember as well that Anthem comes out in February, and that has got to do very well at this point. That needs to impress people.
Right. I will say, Apex Legends is the first EA game I've spent significant time in since probably Battlefield 1, which I didn't even buy.
Yeah, the last EA game I spent significant time with is, unfortunately, The Sims 4.
Ooh, I've heard not good things about that one.
The Sims 4 is not as good as The Sims 3 to a point. There's a lot of bits of it that are inferior. But it does actually run better than The Sims 3.
Oh, that's fair.
It's the one reason I bought it, because The Sims 3 still runs like arse on a modern system. Like, on higher settings, it runs like dog shit. It always has. And, like, it still stutters on my rig occasionally, The Sims 3. A game that is literally 10 years old.
Fair.
Yeah, go fucking figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall though, even when it comes to their stock drop though, EA aren't actually doing that bad financially. Their net earnings were $262 million in profit last year, and their revenue as a total, this is for the last period, the last quarter, was $1.29 billion.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was their revenue. But then you've also got to think of it in a way as well, that means they have $1 billion of outgoings in a quarter. But still, $262 million is a lot of money in a quarter.
Yeah, can you imagine having anywhere near that amount of money?
Yeah, I know. The revenue as a whole is up by $100 million from compared to this time last year, which is $1.16 billion. But when you take into account things like the Origin Access subscriptions and things like that, they've had a drop in revenue, total revenue, from 1.97 billion to 1.61 billion. Think about the amount of money that we're talking about here as well. Like,
yeah, it's a lot.
When you ever stop to think about how much $1 billion is, it is insanity. It's so much money. Like, yeah, I remember it being explained to me, it's like $1 million is like a crate that's, I don't know, like about, slightly smaller than you. But $1 billion in a crate is enough to fill, I think it's over over an Olympic-sized swimming pool's worth.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's how much bigger $1 billion is than $1 million. It's a maddeningly large amount of money.
And they got two of them.
Yep, they do. But yeah, so
crazy.
It is crazy, and it's just more proof that EA aren't fucking going anywhere just yet, even if their stocks and their PR is, pretty in the gutter. They ain't fucking going anywhere
for a while.
No, it's the same as Nintendo. I remember hearing something ridiculous like Nintendo could afford to make a $500 million loss for about 50 years and still be in business. That's how much money Nintendo has. Exactly.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that too.
It's madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of these companies aren't going anywhere anytime soon, but, I do still think that, yes, while they're probably not going anywhere, the things like this stock drop may make EA consider their business going forward, and it might make them change. But it also might not.
They say that's what they're doing. Like, they say after this quarter, they're, like, going into R&D to seeing, like, what they should do next. But to me, that just means, like, how close can we get to the line without it affecting us? So that's what I think they're doing. But we'll see.
Pretty much. We will see. So, that's what EA has been doing. Well, that's what's been happening to EA for the last year. Or for the last few months, and in this particular quarterly report, it's not gone very well for them. But I think in the long run they'll probably be fine, but it might make them consider things going forward. Anyway, with that out the way, we're going to stop talking about EA and move on to the final topic of the show. You're about to hear me side with a big corporation, and that's a change. Doesn't happen very often, does it?
Fair.
Yeah. This in this story, a GTA Online hacker has been ordered to pay $150,000 in damages to Take-Two Entertainment after being sued by them. Funnily enough, it's Florida Man.
Of course it is.
It's Florida Man. It's always Florida Man. He's been found guilty of copyright infringement after developing and distributing a cheat program for GTA Online. Obviously, mods and cheats aren't illegal, and neither should they ever be, Take-Two, in a single-player game environment. But in an online game environment, it's very much a good way to ruin the experience for people who want to just play legitimately.
Right.
And so he developed this piece of software, and he was distributing it through a site.
Torrent.
And
no.
Well, that was a report from Torrent Freak, but he was distributing it. It's called Elusive for some reason. It's a shit name, not gonna lie. But he was distributing this piece of software called Elusive from between $10 to $30, depending on the package, and it allowed players to just basically do what they wanted in GTA Online. They could give themselves millions and millions of in-game money. They could interfere with other players. GTA Online is full of hackers anyway.
Yeah.
But this is just a thing that makes it easier for them, which is not ideal, is it?
Not at all, and I can't believe people pay for this shit.
I know. That's the bit that got me more than anything when I was reading this. I was like, wait, people actually paid money for this?
Especially because you could probably do it for free.
I know. It's like that's the thing. Between $10 and $30. That's half the cost of the game. What the fuck are you doing with your lives?
Maybe I could see $5 at maximum, maybe. And even then I'd be like, really?
Yeah, I'd be like, really? You're charging for this? But
30?
Yeah, that is not fun. But anyway. It's ridiculous.
What's funny here to me too is that Take-Two say they were open to negotiating, but then the guy didn't follow up after he complied with the request.
No, he just responded with silence. He just decided to pretend that it didn't exist.
Yeah,
and
then they went after him even more.
Well, they went after it. They went after him anyway, and they're going, "Hey, we're suing you." They sent court documents to him. He didn't respond to these court documents, and he's then because he didn't respond to this, he probably didn't think it was legitimate, or he just didn't care. He's not responded to any of these documents, and he's now been given the default judgment, which is maximum statutory damages of $150,000, almost half of which are legal fees. Oh, wait. Almost $70,000 of legal fees were also added. So his actual total is $220,000.
Yep.
He probably doesn't have that much money, I'm not going to lie. Even if he was selling this piece of software for $10 to $30 a pop, he would have to sell. Let us work that out. Because I can't be bothered to do maths today. So if he sold every copy of this piece of software at $30 a pop, he would have to sell 7,333 copies. That's less than I thought.
It is, but that's still a lot.
That's still a lot of copies just for a really obscure bit of cheating software. And that's also, like I say, with the assumption that it was all $30 sales. So, but even then, you gotta consider the amount of players that GTA Online has. That may well be a thing. This was big enough that Take-Two actually took legal action against this guy. So it obviously wasn't just one guy doing it on his own, like a small time thing.
Right. That's true. And I wonder, this is probably only PC players, to be fair, but that seems to be their biggest market anyways. So.
Yeah. Yeah, the judge in the case order wrote that Mr. Perez's elusive program, elusive as in the name of the program, not an elusive program, creates new features. Yes, where's the program gone? It doesn't exist anymore. Creates new features and elements in GTA which can be used to harm legitimate players, causing Take-Two to lose control over its carefully balanced plan for how its video game is designed to be played. So I'm not gonna lie, that sounds exactly like the sort of weird random PR bullshit game companies come out to justify their shit practices.
Yeah.
But in this instance, it is kind of correct. Because he is interfering with the intended experience in a negative way.
Yeah, he is. And, you know, even if there are a ton of people hacking, like, they're going to try and stop it wherever they can. And this is, like, a small space they can, you know, make the game a little bit better for a lot of people.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of comments on stories about this saying that they should have given him a job instead because he has a skill set.
I don't entirely disagree.
I don't entirely disagree, but neither do I entirely agree.
Yeah.
I've seen a surprising amount of people defending him. Because
Whoa.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? It's one of those situations like, sure, big corporations don't need defending. It's like when, you know, people moan about entitled gamers attacking the big corporations. It's like, no. Don't defend the corporations in that instance. They don't need your defense from that. In this instance, though, I think the big corporation's completely in the right.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. I mean, they have... I think any developer has the right
in general, they're massive arseholes, but in this specific instance, they are correct.
Dude, this comment on the PC Gamer article. Poor Rockstar. Bet they need the 150,000. Perez cheats are the only reason I revisit the game. Slogging out for a few thousand weeks to try to afford a car and be able to mod it was getting so boring. Yeah, cheating is bad and he should not make a profit, but sometimes you just have to use these things.
You don't have to use it. You could just not play the game. I'm not going to lie. Like GTA Online is a shit. Enjoy it. Yeah, GTA Online is a shit show. That's why I stopped playing it. It's a grindy shit show. Like, don't defend him because you don't like the company. You know?
He's just trying to defend the fact that he spent $30 on fucking hacks.
Pretty much. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah. Like more than anything, like he's saying they don't need the $150,000. It's like no, they don't need it, but it's to act.
That's not the point.
It's a deterrent, so other people don't do it.
Yeah, the point is like the money.
Yeah,
this time
like they don't need $150,000, but most people don't have $150,000 that they could afford if they get sued by a company. So maybe don't do the thing. That's the message they're trying to send here.
Yeah, that tends to be the point.
Yes. Anyway, as most people will know, if you've ever watched a show that I'm on this channel, I am not a big corporate, fanboy. I hate corporations and most of the stuff that they do. So for me to defend a corporation, surely they must be,
on some shit.
This isn't just me, being a corporate defender, because that's not who I am. I don't do that. I just think in this specific instance, they are correct.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway. Anything else to add on that, do you think, Max?
Not in particular. I feel like we've discussed it pretty thoroughly.
I think we have. I think we've gone through it quite nicely indeed. So, on that note then, let us wrap up the show.
That was me wrapping it up with tinfoil.
Tinfoil?
I don't have actual tinfoil.
No. Why would you need tinfoil to wrap a present? You're doing it wrong.
I didn't think of it in a present way. I didn't think of it in a present way, I guess. I just thought of it as like wrapping up food. A present's probably a better way to go about that.
Yeah. Well done. Well done,
That could apply
Max.
to wrapping paper too. It's wrapping paper. Shh.
Okay, definitely. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching this episode of the GameCast Newscast, and I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to like, subscribe, and share whatever you fancy. Our social links are down in the description with a link to our Discord. And thank you very much, Max, for joining me for this episode.
You are very welcome, my dear.
Okay. Oh dear. Right, we'll try and get him on more than 3 videos in the space of, we'll try and get him on more frequently on the channel is what I'm saying, viewers.
Yay!
Yes, you need to be back more often than you are.
I know. I need to do a lot of things more often than I am.
You do. Make time.
I will fabricate time.
Yes, do that. Definitely how these things work. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and yes, stay tuned to Gamecast for news, reviews, Let's Plays, podcasts. Alex's new show has already come out by the time that this show is live. It's a Minecraft 10-minute tour where he goes through a thing that he has made or someone else has made in Minecraft on the Switch. And Mark's review of Kingdom Hearts will be up fairly soon, and we might have, we'll have impressions of Apex Legends coming up. I might try and do a stream on Tuesday of it if I get the time. And that's a very big if. And actually, I think if I do, I'll get you involved, Max.
Ooh, that'd be fun. I play on console,
Yes.
but
Can you do crossplay?
not yet.
You're gonna have to download it on PC then.
That's true. I can. Hopefully.
Yes, do that. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.